Hi, I am Don,
And I am Stilbo.
and we are trying to think about literally anything else but current events.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And to help you with that,
Yeah.
we are going to continue to talk about Saito Nizuki, the philosophy of Saito Nizuki,
I mean, it's
a humanist.
Yes,
A
definitely,
humanist.
definitely.
Um,
He's willing to ask the hard questions.
willing to ask the hard
that
questions.
the liberals will call you a racist for. Is it permissible to consume human flesh after murdering someone?
And I love
thought-
that it's specifically after murdering. So if you find him in the woods, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I mean, if you
because
hit
of course.
if you hit someone on the road, you get to keep them. But like the meat's a bit gamey, but it's good for sausage. But, actual murdering someone and then eating them, well, I thought you liked recycling, a liberal. Checkmate.
Chex Quest, atheist. Do you remember Chex Quest?
Yeah. Oh, Chex
We
Quest.
need to do a podcast on
Chex
Chex Quest. But
I am from Chex Squadron, and I volunteer to fight the Flemoids. That's actually rather on point. Wuhan is not responding to our breakfast cereals, even though they're all produced in Wuhan. We can only assume the Flemoids have taken over. General Cheerio, what do you think? I don't know. How are we supposed to stop a bunch of unstoppable Flemoids from another dimension? Self-isolation.
which we are doing poorly, but we are doing it because we know that you're sitting home alone in your self-isolation. You don't have anything to do, even though I would argue you probably have a backlog of video games.
You know how it is. Like you're trying to stay home alone, and for once you've actually got the elites telling you not to go to work.
When you said elites, I just imagined
The elites.
Halo elites.
Dude, now I'm imagining like an elite like at a bar. Like, dude, I'm up way too late. I'm not gonna be able to make it to work tomorrow. Rick, you sound sick. Call my boss. Oh yeah, you need to stay home, man. I don't know what you got. I don't want it.
And the grunts are overworked the next day because he didn't show up.
Yeah. Dude, imagine that like call from like a crowded bar. Like, yeah, I'm sick. I don't feel good. Leader dead. Run away. Whoa, sounds like you got some stuff. Yeah, take a day.
So Sutton just watched two people that respect and admire him eat MREs made of people.
Literally outside the door where they were being
And
made.
then while they were both projectile vomiting, he told
he
Ellie,
starts like a...
he told her the awful truth about her father and why he bangs lower class.
Yeah, the consent is questionable given the power imbalance, admittedly.
And then after all this is done, he looks off sagely and muses for a moment. Is it wrong to eat someone you just murdered?
Allow me to be the devil's advocate.
By the way, this goes nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. This question is not resolved. This is a game that asks a lot of questions and just expects you to just go with it.
So
then Satan takes you on a tour. It's like you're at the Maker's Mark distillery, and you can eat people if you want. They give out samples.
You can put the wax.
Yeah, you can make your own human/mutant spam.
To seal the bottle.
Yeah, it's like Willy Wonka's murder factory.
Adam actually has one from the.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
He has been to the distillery.
He has been to the Soylent facility.
Okay, so after we've gone through this History Channel, how it's made of cannibalism, we go to an Umbrella Laboratory, which is Krellian's playground. So naturally, you're going to need a bunch of key cards, unicorn medallions. You need to learn Mozart, all that to get through this little mansion, this little this lab. There's an assembly line that's just cranking out those memory cubes. And Faye's like, hey, isn't that what we use to quote unquote save? And Satan's like, yes, Faye. everyone on the planet actually taps the triangle button to save with these devices.
I think it's Square in Xenogears.
Square,
actually.
okay, yeah. So yeah, it's being a little bit meta there. But anyway, and then all that information from the save data goes to Solaris for nefarious purposes.
Right.
This also implies that Timothy and Alice could reload. They are choosing not to.
Guess
It's like when
maybe they knew the truth of Satan the whole time and wanted to die.
yeah, like
because they were complicit in his madness.
honestly, if I got gunned down by a giant robot, I'm not going to be able to top this.
You're not gonna have a better story,
Dude, if I reload, I'm going to slip in the shower or something. This is good. Like life in this world is like when we played Vice City when we were young, we didn't care about the story.
No.
We beeline for the military base and try to have a cool last stand. Maybe steal a helicopter.
By the way, if you do play Vice City stories nowadays, it does not hold up. It's very bad.
Oh.
It's wedged between two fantastic stories, I think is the problem. Grand Theft Auto 3 and San Andreas.
Anyway, next on the Grand Tour, there's a huge Olympic-sized pool of water. There's a giant gear in there. Blue and gold, really cool looking. Ellie says, well, that must be like, that must be strong. And Satan's like, oh yeah, that's Solaris's Omni gear. Okay. So they have one.
So far, we've seen one other of these. It is Bart's new gear.
Yes. So next up on the tour, there's a bunch of tubes containing mutants and regular humans being converted into the Wells or the Reapers or whatever you want to call them. So basically, if you wind up here, you're going to turn to Mr. X, Dr. William Birkin, or Spam.
Right.
There's also bog standard, like just metal cages, where Wells recently created mutants are hanging out. And they actually do have some semblance of intelligence clinging, but they speak in itchy, tasty dialogue. Tom came, ugly face, so killed him. Itchy, tasty. Like, they say things like, good day. You opened it. I told you not to open it.
They start talking like elites from Halo.
Yeah, like, I kind of feel like eating you up. So you go through and throughout this little area, you'll come across a bunch of random encounters, and there's like a bunch of weird mutants. Some of them are like really disturbing, like those orphans that are like bird embryos.
Oh yeah,
That are huge, and it's just like, okay, so this is where Krellian hangs out for fun.
After a rough day at the office, he takes a stroll through here.
Yeah, when somebody turns up at work with a cough, this is where he self-isolates. That says a lot about the man.
It's a sinner. It's a sinner.
There's also a room that's nothing but humans and Wells being zapped and electrocuted. The party just walks by them. You can't interact with them. You can't turn them off. You can't mercy kill them. You just walk through this room as they're being tortured. And nothing comes of it. It's just there to tell. In case you haven't picked up on this,
Solaris is bad.
Krellian is a bit of an ass, and Solaris is empowering him. Then the party comes across a big communal holding cell with about a dozen infected people. You can leave them in there.
Infected with what?
Infected with whatever it is that's turning them into mutants or whatever.
Oh, right.
And they're the same as everyone else, but basically, like, okay, there's a treasure chest in there.
So you must be able to get in there somehow.
Yes, we got to open this gate up, but we're going to have to kill everyone inside if you do that. It's like it's like a little marathon thing, like a bunch of back-to-back fights.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's a challenge to keep you away from like an ether item. It's worth going in for.
Yeah, I don't think the item's actually that cool when you get it.
Yeah.
But the XP is.
Yeah, the XP is good, and they do have more itchy and tasty dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, we were turned into Wells as an experiment. And then and another one will say, thanks. In return, I'll eat you. Then another one will say, help. I can't control. Don't kill me. And then, like, after that serious one, you have, like, you look tasty. And then you'll have, I'm human, or I used to be. Ouch, it hurts, it hurts. A mutant in addition to a Wells. Wells are pretty good. How about you? And last but not least, there's 2 red drum palette swaps. They're basically that one creature from Kislev Sewers, only palette swapped. And this isn't an accident. They actually specifically say, you killed our brother.
I love that they have knowledge of that.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. Like, Krellian probably told him. Just be a dick. Yeah, he Krellian probably does like the Citan thing. He gives people, well, he does feed everyone in Solaris. He feeds everyone cannibal food. So then Krellian also has literal angels, complete with halos in stasis. He also has a Mech Warrior arcade, which is pretty cool.
Is it really a Mech Warrior?
It's like a little. It looks like something you'd find at a bowling alley. It's like a gear simulator.
Yeah.
And then the party comes across this console with a diagram of Fort Jasper, or it could just be another turret from that ship. And then, most importantly, you find a table with a bunch of holograms of the party members. And if you click on those, you get some information on Krellian's notes about your party.
Oh, this is actually a little cool little thing in the game. Like
Emeralda, ether response, nah. Anima alignment, nah. Comments, useless. She's in an machine colony, but I got what you can kill her now, I don't care. Choo Choo, ether, nah. Anime, nah. Unusable, kill it. Maria Balthazar, ether response, 170, not bad. Anima alignment, 74, not good enough. Not getting into college with that.
Not a Solarian college.
Not anyway. Solarian college. Rico, however, has more information than anyone. He says, Ether, 160. Anima, 85. Created by the Ethos as an experimental mixture using the Kislev battling to measure potential. Schedule for Animus alignment. So apparently he got turned into this by Ethos.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool backstory. Too bad we're never going to hear anything about it again. Billy, Ether 290, Anima 92, scheduled for Animus alignment. Bart, 210 Ether, Anima 90, comments. This is the part where I don't understand. It says, upon, quote-unquote, Dan Anima's retrieval.
Dan? Dan?
Dan? It says Dan.
Lahan Dan? D-A-N, capital D,
capital D,
lowercase A-N.
Capital D, lowercase A-N. He doesn't have anything to do with Bart.
Or does he?
Questions for...
We don't ever see Dan again, by the way.
Let's just... Well, I think we do it towards the end of the game where he reconciles with Faye in the survivors camp.
That's right.
But yeah, he has nothing... Like that. I don't know if that's just there to throw you or if they had an undeveloped idea.
Undeveloped idea, most likely.
Probably.
This game actually was shamefully...
It's an undeveloped game.
Cut. It was an unfinished... most of you came to us through the KOTOR 2 podcast, so you know how we feel about underdeveloped games.
It's like that. I love things that are left undeveloped or unfinished. It's like that hotel in Pyongyang. Love it. It's beautiful. I mean, it hasn't fallen down. It's got that going for it. Wouldn't go into it. Wouldn't stay in it. But hell, it's there.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So Citan, real name, Hyuga Rikdo. Okay. Ether, 240. Anima alignment, 98. No comment. Okay. And then the big ones. Ellie, infinite ether, infinite anima, possible antitype, retrieve. Faye, infinite ether, infinite anima, contact, kill him.
Interesting. So they want Ellie. And
they want Ellie.
Faye dead.
They want Faye dead, in uncertain terms. Then the party comes across a locked door that is very forbidding, and Citan opens it with no issue whatsoever. Ellie snaps and points out, Citan, you're being the shadiest son of a bitch in the universe, more so than usual. How the hell are you getting around here so much? And Citan says, well, and then Citan just kind of blows her off and says, we are walking in a place that no one has been to since the genesis of mankind. And Ellie's like, dude, you're not making yourself any less shady right now. He keeps rambling on about the Emperor. He yet lives. The Ministry, however, are just data. Satan explains that the ministry want to resurrect their bodies, creating worthy vessels. That's what the Soylent system is all about. The failures get turned into food and medicine. So yeah, the young people in Solaris are literally being turned into mulch to keep the boomers alive.
Oh my god. So like Krellian is running a kind of a Mr. Burns kind of operation.
So now Ellie finally has a great character moment where she just calls Satan out on all his bullshit. Satan, you have no business knowing any of this. You've been leading us away from the captured party members we're ostensibly trying to get to. This route isn't on any maps. This door we passed through could only be unlocked by someone with the Emperor's blessing. Not even my dad could get through. Faye says it could be luck.
The guy apologizing for his
And Ellie doesn't even address Faye's little interjection. No, something is wrong. You were able to get into Solaris under martial law, sneak into the palace, get through a P4 level door. How do you even know what this place is, what it does? Come on, even Jesse didn't even know what the M Project was all about. Satan, what?
The M Project is the Soylent thing, correct?
It's part of the Soylent thing that went into like the creation of Oxen,
the
man-machine interface.
Yeah, okay.
You know even more about this than Maria, whose dad was also responsible for it. Something here is not right. Satan's character starts slowly clapping. And then the lights go out. And then Ellie and Satan disappear, and Faye is in a cube room of monitor screens. And now he's trapped in a force field and he can't move. And the TV screens are showing him images of Lahan in flames. And the Gazelle Ministry comes on and start taunting Faye, calling him the cursed, untouchable one. God's beloved child who prevents our prayers, which is a really interesting line considering God's beloved child who is preventing our prayers of being one with God. Something's going on. They tell Faye that Satan is Solaris' guardian angel keeping tabs on everyone. Then they show images of the other party members and explain that these are the animus that have been drawn to you. They are ideal for our use. They are ideal bodies for our resurrection. So they're going to divvy up your party and use their bodies to get bodies again. Like one of them's going to get Rico.
Right.
One of them's going to be the little girl.
One of them's going to get Choo Choo.
And they'll still just be themselves, speaking in random.
Except the one that gets Choo Choo will say, "Are Choo ready to rumble? You bad boy."
Ramses, you are trash. Ramses, you are trash.
Speaking of that broken proper noun language they do as Choo Choo.
Trash, useless. He. If only they were here. Yeah. So Faye asks the ministry, okay, why are you guys doing this? You own the world.
That's so poetic.
You own the world. What more can you possibly want? It's like going to like Elon Musk, dude, what? Why? All we want is a $15 minimum wage. It wouldn't affect you at all. Well, it turns out a $15 minimum wage would impede the resurrection of God. Who will soon awaken? The Ark, Mahan, Vince Mahan, the source of God's wisdom, will be recovered. Then they say, quote, they just lay it all out in case you haven't pieced it together. We are orphans in this universe, thrown away onto this planet in solitude along with God. Long ago, we came from the heavens. We are aliens. So yeah, and they readdress old plot points. We didn't exist until 10,000 years ago. Now we're going to be one with God again and return to space because this planet sucks.
So the goal is literally to get this ship back off the ground.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
They're going to rebuild God and go back to space.
And it's Now, I can't remember, or if it's even revealed at this point, are they equating God to the ship?
More or less.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, essentially. Corellian shows up for the party and says, "This one only awaits for the awakening." He shows Faye his and then he tells Faye that he's been talking with Ellie. Then it cuts to him with Ellie in prison in a lab, and he said, and he like tells Faye, Ellie is very special. She has an inner self, a very important inner self. So then it cuts to Ellie's conversations with Krellian in another time and place. Ellie is yelling at Krellian that this whole situation is beyond fucked. And he just kind of goes on, "Oh, no, that's not my department. I'm not, I mean, I work for the company, but I don't really agree with everything. I mean,
hey, I don't agree with everything he does, but he's putting America first.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, anyway, this is what I really care about. This is the assembler, one of those nanomachine things. It can break down molecules and atoms and reconstruct it into anything. Thanks to that girl, the one we obtained from the ruins of Zebwim civilization, we now are able to make it compact. It's quite astonishing to think it was made so long ago. The work was rather crude. The best we could do until now was use it for healing and shit like that. But now we can trace DNA to its very core, and he's basically saying we're going to use this to trace human DNA back to Genesis, to essentially mitochondrial Eve, and then to God himself. So, yeah.
Which they're doing because they're not sure still what their God is. I can't.
Yeah, like they're trying to rebuild God, and the information of creation and therefore of God is in human DNA, because humans were made at some point 10,000 years ago on this planet through some means, and he's tracing DNA. And then he shouts some random technobabble. He says, "Ah, yes, the Eurobolus ring. That's it. Miang and Lacan's actions. This explains everything." It doesn't. What does it explain, Crowley? And then he says, "Ellie, you are the mother." Okay, so exact quote, because I can't summarize this. "Yes, this is what your genetic exon looked like before replacement. This is the conceptualized form of the intron which carries information that isn't supposed to exist. Observe, this is the Eurobulus ring, which contains intron information which only exists in certain people. Eurobulus, if we were to anatomize such a thing, wouldn't you be interested in what information it would offer? Ellie, you are beautiful. When I look at you, I appreciate the artistic aspect of the human form, its elaborateness. I can't help but feel the importance of all that. As if my molecular machine is unworthy of you. You haven't changed since then. Just like the other one, Lacan." Okay, so cut back to Satan, who is hanging out with Faye and taunting him. He's saying, "Hey, yeah, your friends are dead. Your new friends are helpless at my mercy. Your village is dead. Also, I was a fascist all along. I agree. Childish ideals. I'm not. I'm a race realist, Faye." Yeah, like Solaris. I mean, you've seen Solaris. It's a nice place. How can a nice place be bad? Oh, you're gonna point to the slavery camps. Well, they choose to live that way. They choose to live in the honeycomb hideout, Faye. Anyway, facts are facts. Let's just accept them. It'll be easy for everyone. Resistance is futile. It only makes things painful. So now, Faye has been triggered. So now there's while Satan is uploading his rant
Right.
to YouTube, and it says rational conservative triggers liberal.
In all caps.
Faye is now id. He's gone Super Saiyan. He's still in that little force field, but now he is id. And Satan turns to id and says, "Now, id, let's take our time and talk." Cut back to Ellie. Krellian leaves the room while she is restrained still. Ramses shows up giggling, demanding to know where Faye is so he could kick his ass and prove he's the cool guy. Ellie tells Ramses that he has a problem and he has friends who he should probably reach out to.
While he's wearing his tap-out shirt.
Yeah. Dude, you have a problem. I am literally strapped to a nanomachine assembler, and I'm telling you, you need help. Like, I'm not even going to ask you to let me go. You need help. Do you, man. You take care of yourself.
I'm going to find someone else to free me. You need to take care of whatever
Yeah, you need some self-care. Cut back to Faye. It is gone at this point. We don't see what happened with that.
Right.
Like, the game just gonna okay, well, Faye's back now. He's free of his restraints and surrounded by Bart and Billy and all his friends. He sees Citan and immediately beelines to punch him in the face, but Bart says, hey, no. He helped us escape. Yeah, apparently Citan was using Solarian facilities to remove limiters from the party. He is working specifically for the Emperor, who is at odds with the Gazelle Ministry, working like a double or triple agent with a lot of different loyalties that he will never betray unless he does. He also says, by the way, I checked out your girlfriend's DNA. And she has no limiter. Also, which is weird because all Solarians generally do, except for people like me and Ramses. Citan also says he has a sword now, and he's ready to use it. He says it is not fair for me to be the only innocent one. God,
so Citan,
Citan, the balls. Oh,
hey.
It's like the one cop at it's like a bunch of cops are beating up Antifa who have just been fighting Nazis, and then Citan is like that one cop who says maybe it's time for me to join Antifa. while the brains of one Antifa guy is still draped over him. It's not fair for the world for me to be innocent. I too should punch Nazis. I was playing both sides, Faye. Faye says, you're so mischievous, Doc.
What?
It's my endearing character trait.
I love how after all this, remember that none of this changes the fact that he watched Faye people.
You watched me eat people.
And he's just like, you son of a bitch.
You're so mischievous.
You chew bad boy.
Chew bad boy. Oh, chew bad boy. Yeah, it turns out the limiters that Citan removed were psychological because the physical ones were removed in Shavat.
Right, that is correct.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
But you know, so in Shavat, they gained their strength, but in Solaris, they learned to believe in themselves.
Yes. He specifically says there is a subconscious fear and veneration of the Ministry, the Emperor, the rich, and everyone, but he has removed that fear. And now you can truly be woke. And therefore,
Well, now you can, you're posting on the right subreddits.
Yeah. So Citan isn't really evil. He's just really...
No, he's evil. He watched them eat. He watched them eat human beings.
Yeah, let's not defend
But he's
him.
just batting for our team.
Yeah,
now.
You know,
he's got a couple of gun charges, but you know what? The real gun's in that arm, baby. He's going to take us to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Citan Izuki, one of the most interesting RPG characters, I would argue, of all time. I think Citan and Ellie are my favorite characters. Certainly not for moral reasons on Citan, but for, they just... And no, who saw this coming? Like, when you first played the game,
I mean, he has something going on.
There's something weird going on.
There's a lot.
Something weird going on up there, Adam.
We have bugs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it
A lot of things are happening. Anyway, Citan meets up with Jesse. He leaves the party again, of course. I have this sword. I am now the strongest on-foot fighter. You guys, go that way. I got other things to do. He meets up with Jesse, who was in the middle of a sweet firefight in a reactor room with Solarian guards. And Citan starts planting a bomb in the gate reactor. Jesse's like, hey, was that the plan? Was that what we were going to do? Like, oh, yeah, the Emperor wants Eternac destroyed. He says, quote unquote, it is up to them now.
Who's them? The party?
I don't know.
No,
It's a non-determinate pronoun.
right. Yep.
It's up to the transgenders now. It's like,
Well, thank God, at least someone that
Yeah.
can handle it's doing it.
they're the only rational ones. Like, I mean,
Pretty much.
honestly,
Yeah, honestly.
I was told I was a man, and I just kind of went with it.
Yeah, I mean,
They analyzed themselves.
So just remember, when someone tells you their preferred pronouns, it takes you literally zero effort to honor that. Just be cool and honor
Yeah.
what their pronouns are.
I mean, I don't have to work to be a man. It just kind of happened, man. Ramses shows up and asks Seitan and Jesse where the hell Faye is. Because he's still looking for Faye. He's still consumed with his inferiority complex, and now he has a sense of betrayal because that bomb has just gone off and caused a chain reaction. And it's like, you traitors! You didn't stand for the flag. I understand.
Nor did you kneel at the cross.
So now the party members have all rejoined, and they're like, okay, the bomb went off. We got to get out of here, guys. I don't know how big this explosion is going to be. Hopefully it's not going to kill everyone. I mean, there's millions upon millions of people up here. A lot of slaves and innocent bystanders. It won't be that bad, I'm sure.
I want them to live long enough to become MREs.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ellie's parents are here too. Apparently they escaped, and Eric's like, yeah, my career's kind of shot. And now that I am not being paid by the government, I am more than willing to criticize it. I am now a correspondent for MSNBC. And someone should really do something about this Solaris now that I am no longer in a position to do anything.
So he went from Joseph Goebbels to Chris Matthews.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like Mathis. He's like, someone should really stop him. Someone in power should really do something. This is messed up. And Hammer is apparently everyone's crediting Hammer with affecting this grand reunion. Like he helped coordinate everyone. Like you wouldn't think about it, but this little rat dude, he's like, when he said he's good at gathering info from the underground, he actually was.
He means it.
So everyone's giving him like mad props. Like, hey, and like Faye is like, man, I'm really glad you helped save Ellie's parents. And then Hammer says, yes, that's what happened. So party splits up again.
Some very interesting stuff about to happen with Hammer.
Yeah, a bunch of people like, okay, all right, party needs to split up. We need to shut. It's like the Death Star escape, basically.
Right.
You got someone has to secure the Millennium Falcon. Someone has to open the hangar bay doors. Someone has to distract, and then we're all going to meet up the Millennium Falcon and escape. Nothing bad will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer opens up his shop for a closing down sale. And everyone accomplishes their objectives. They rendezvous, and they're about to escape. There's literally nothing stopping them. And then Hammer says stop. And he has a gun to Ellie's head.
God, this is just another part of the game where it's just like, who the fuck saw this
I
coming?
didn't see that coming.
Hammer was literally the comic relief.
He's your bro.
He was the Jar Jar
Yeah.
in the part. He literally was the Jar Jar.
It's like it's like that joke if Jar Jar turned out to be a Sith.
No, yeah, it really is. So yeah,
Hammer explains that Krellian will quote unquote change it if he returns Ellie. And he says, I really don't want to do this to Miss Ellie. I like her very much, but I have no choice. I'm no good. I don't have the strength like Bro or the smarts like the Doc. I know everyone thinks of me as an annoying handyman who talks too much. I know that. I'm different from you all. I'm not special. I'm a normal guy. I don't have any other choice.
It's a very real moment
Yeah.
for our character. Like it's just unloaded with you all at once, and it's one of the few like parts of the localization they really nailed too, because you really feel it when you're reading these.
And then Ellie's adoptive mom steps up to save her daughter, and she says, I'm just a normal person too. I'm just a normal mom trying to get by in this world.
She's Reba.
Yep.
She's Reba.
And she tells Ellie to walk towards her, and everything will be fine. Hammer doesn't really know how to respond to this, and he accidentally shoots Ellie's mom in front of her. So Ellie cries out to the heavens. Hammer runs away, and of course Groff shows up to ruin the moment even more. And
Power.
he's got a girlfriend now. Yeah,
What?
they're on foot, and he's got a little girl friend with a staff. It's
Oh,
called the
I
Executioner.
remember that. Yeah.
Hey, Frey, I saw you had a girlfriend. I figured I'd get one. Didn't know if you were going to like Applebee's or something. Thought we can go together.
Because, they got that 2 for $20, and let me tell you about the power.
It's only available on a takeout basis right now because of coronavirus, but I figured, we can go back, catch Netflix.
She's been tested. Came back negative.
He says that Ellie has to remain here on Etrinak. Faye is beyond pissed that this guy keeps showing up, and you kick his ass, but then, he's Groff, so
Right.
that doesn't count. Ellie's dad shows up in a goddamn gear, though, and starts fighting Groff, just like while he's on foot. But, of course, since Groff and his girlfriend are so cool,
Right.
Groff's girlfriend just one-shots her
Her
dad.
character model has kind of a pretty sick costume, doesn't it?
It does. It's like a full mask.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And so after Eric gets killed, like he pilots a gear to save his daughter from some guy on foot, and then gets one-shotted.
I know your day's probably going pretty bad. We're all going
Yeah.
through a rough time, but you know what? At least you didn't show up in an 80-foot battle weapon and get your ass kicked by a man on foot.
Technically, the man's girlfriend sidekick.
Right. At least that didn't happen
Yeah.
to you today.
Then Ellie goes Super Saiyan. She starts gathering all her ether power and starts losing control of it, and Groff's girlfriend is very impressed. The sheer power...
Slay Queen.
The sheer power is overwhelming the party, and Faye starts hearing voices in his head. They counsel him. They understand.
Then we're looking at an RKO, ladies and gentlemen.
It says, the voice says, keep sleeping. And then there's some internal giggling in his head. Meanwhile, on the Yggdrasil, the Weltall wakes up and starts moving on its own. It turns red and blows out the hangar towards Etrinak. Now, just to recap, every time the red Weltall shows up, somebody dies.
At least one person.
There was a highly populated continent called Elru of demi-humans that no longer exists because red Weltall showed up.
The demon of Elru.
The demon of Elru.
Yep.
That Ramses keeps calling Faye.
Oh my God! It's the Master Chief of.
Yeah. Demon, run away. Well, you know who isn't running away? Ramses. He finally he hasn't found Faye.
He's got the Axe body spray on.
Yeah.
He's got the Ed Hardy jeans.
He's in his beautiful golden gear, and he sees Weltall coming, red Weltall, and he's like, "Oh yeah, finally!"
Headstrong, I'll take you.
Like, he's like roaring out of Etrinak in this gear to stop red Weltall from showing up. He's like blaring, "I need a hero." and then Ramses says, "Huh, you've come all this way just to die." Then there's a flash, and he's no longer in the cutscene. And then the party, all the party members disappear. Like they've escaped off screen, and Groff and his girlfriend, who turns out to be Miang, are saying, "Oh, he won't get off the stage so easily this time." And then Groff says he's mentally unstable, like the old days. Or Miang might be saying this. I think maybe Krellian. No, this is Krelly. He's here too now.
Is he hanging out with Groff?
Yeah, or at least with Miang. And he's talking like, it's just like the old days. He's mentally unstable.
So does the executioner take off her mask to reveal
Yeah.
Miang? Okay.
Krellian also hears that Ramses went out to fight Id and questions why Ramses keeps fighting even though he knows he'll lose.
I just imagine that Id and I just imagine what's going on behind the scenes. That flash of light. It's like when Goku met Raccoon.
Yeah.
Where like everyone, he's been killing everyone else, and Goku just elbows him in the stomach, and he's gone.
And so Groff, Miang, and Krellian says, "Okay, we should probably leave. We should probably go."
You know what? You're busy. You're working.
Because,
You're working. I
because
ain't gonna
while
go.
all this is happening, Red Weltall is just tearing through Etrinak, murdering everything. There's explosions. Satan's little bomb was unnecessary.
It's pretty wicked. It's
Yeah.
pretty wicked.
And so like all the villains are like, I'm gonna go. I should go. I better go. I'm Commander Shepard. And this is my favorite stop on the Citadel.
Shepard.
So Rex, Shepard, Rex. We gotta cure the coronavirus. Get the Solarians. Just
What was it? The
Like
genophage.
So Ellie wakes up while the rest of the party are like on Sebzen, like running away from Id.
Right.
And Ellie wakes up and asks where Faye is, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, he turned into Id, apparently, and he's currently murdering everyone on Solaris." Well, at least on the city, the capital city of Solaris.
Which is a shame because now they're gonna have anything to make those MREs.
Yeah, which were delicious, I'll admit.
They're gonna go out of business, and you know what? That just, the invisible hand can only carry so much.
Yeah, it's So they make it back to the Yggdrasil. Etrinek explodes and crashes to the ground, and now Id has come out of the smoke and ashes and is running right towards them.
Is this one of the anime cutscenes?
I think so. I can't remember.
I don't.
It might
think
just be
actually.
it might just be gameplay.
Yeah, it's a gameplay.
Because Ellie goes up in her gear to confront Id. Everyone's like, "Dude, you can't stop him." And like, I'm gonna try. No, this is Faye. It's still Faye in there.
Look, I know when he drinks whiskey, he gets crazy, but I could talk to him. Trust me.
Yeah, Id says, "Good girl, now die," because she's refusing to fight him. Then she bear hugs him. There's a power surge, and she passes out. Id says, "That woman, I knew it. Damn it, he's awakening," and he goes down as well. So
after this great dialogue from Hammer, we go back to this.
yeah.
Um,
Damn it, he is awakening. Damn it, that girl. That girl. That guy. The anti-type. Trash. So, yeah, that is pretty much the end of Disc 1. There's a little bit more, but then we get to Disc 2.
And the game takes a radical change because Squaresoft didn't want to spend any more money on it.
Yeah, and don't worry, Emperor Cain is fine, as are the Gazelle Ministry. There is still a Solaris. Their capital city just got nuked. Apparently, they have military assets elsewhere, which makes sense. They are an empire.
It's it's just like, hey, just because High Charity got grave minded doesn't mean that the Covenant stopped.
Mm-hmm.
The Covenant stopped because Master Chief blew up
Yeah,
their.
they took a hit, but they're okay.
Blew up their ring in 3, but and this is probably the biggest load in the game, like the biggest dump in the game of story. Like,
Yeah.
they found it.
Yep. There's
But this is it's kind of the most to process that you get in the game. Like, there's a lot to unpack there.
I mean, it was pretty obvious for like it confirmed a lot of things, then introduced new ones.
The idea that their concept of God is the spaceship. It's kind of weird but we'll get more clarity on God later.
Yeah,
but
like,
for now, it seems like it's
this
the
is
ship.
like this isn't just like it could be like a cargo cult where they're just worshiping a machine they don't understand.
Yeah,
Like Warhammer 40K, but then of course in Warhammer 40K,
that machine
worshiping that machine as a god actually makes a little bit of sense.
and it's funny because that's what the machine didn't want, but it's what also kind of keeps it's
Yeah.
weird. 40K is just you guys heard us talk about that.
Yeah,
But we still got more 40K to do.
We could.
But it's kind of I would say that the thing Xenogears borrows the most from is Evangelion. But they kind of just took a lot of really cool shit and jammed it into something and made such an original story. Like, at this point, I hope you recognize this is probably one of the best RPG plots ever. Like, JRPG, CRPG, or otherwise.
The worst thing a game like this can be is boring. Have you ever been bored playing this game?
No. No, and that's another thing is we talk about the narratives of games on this show. We don't really talk about the gameplay all that much. But the first metric I judge a game on, and I think I speak for Don as well, is this fun to play?
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit if I'll go read about the story, but
It
I'm not
doesn't
going
have
to
to
play
be great, but it has to be serviceable or fun or inventive in some way.
Right. You have to have it has to be entertaining to play this game. And Xenogears is legitimately grinding for death blows, stuff like that. It's legitimately fun, but the story in this game was just, I think this was the first game playing it where I was like, there's something to the way a video game tells a story.
And the characters are fun too.
The characters are fantastic. You genuinely get to care about the characters. There's just something about Xenogears is just an incredible story, and we're going to get to a not so easy part of the game to get through. It's kind of the second disc of Xenogears is kind of like book 1 of Fellowship of the Ring. You're going to get a big reward at the end of this, but it's a bit of a trudge.
Yeah.
It's still fine. It's still awesome. It's still one of the greatest books of all time. But you're going to have to earn this. You're going to have to watch some elves take baths. Like, that's just all there is to it.
One of the first things that happens in the next episode will be Ellie and Faye in a back-to-bath.
Yep. Back-to-baths happen in all great fiction.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Just stick them in a green tube.
Star Wars.
The healing tube. Dragon Ball Z.
I kind of like that back to spray they had in The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
That fast acting, that was quick. You've watched The Mandalorian, haven't you? Yeah. So Xenogears is really getting good, and we're going to get to the part of that we promised you to get to, where we're literally podcasting a game that becomes its own podcast. Oh, and the setup's so great. It's literally them sitting in a room.
In a chair.
And
perfectly
they're sitting,
upright.
And it's
hands
Faye
on the
and Ellie,
knees.
right?
Yeah, Faye and Ellie just telling you what happened.
Never at the same time. Always different. And it's like, like when you're watching those like true murder stories, it's like, kind of like that, where the guy's like, she just didn't have no enemies. I don't know why anyone would do that. But she had one enemy.
It's like it's almost like a History Channel interview that's not really like the heart wasn't in it. Like, okay, just like, I don't care what this guy says. Don't edit it. Don't prompt him just let him ramble. Like, and he'll talk a little bit about the Battle of the Bulge. Then he'll talk about a movie he saw about it. And then he'll start telling you about his grandkids. Just let it go.
And you just let him go because he's like 82 and he needs this.
Yeah.
So Ellie has been fully radicalized and taken out of her suburban echo chamber.
She is firmly on Team Antifa now.
Yep, she's that one that's to the left of Bernie Sanders, but she tells you to vote for Bernie Sanders because it's the best option you got. But he's pushing the party left. That's what's important.
He accomplished his mission.
He accomplished his mission.
He can go home now. In victory.
Then
return on your shield.
I wonder. I'll bet he is scared to death of coronavirus.
I think everyone really is.
But at his age.
It's true. He did have a heart attack recently.
Fuck. Did he? I read about that. Yeah.
But he got it didn't kill him though. He had heart to spare. And then Bernie Sanders' biography is extensive. But then there was that one time he was outside Vegas delivering that chip, and then like the cons shot him, but he had brains to spare.
But hey, they didn't shoot him in the back.
No,
they
only maybe cons kill somebody by shooting him in the
But I ain't a fink, you dig?
Nah, he ain't a fink.
And so
the game was rigged from the start.
So in next episode of Xenogears, if you liked what you saw, like, share, subscribe. Share especially. You've got a lot of friends that aren't doing anything right now because we are in week 2 of lockdown by the time this airs.
I can't help but wonder if we had done this earlier, this wouldn't be necessary. If we just hadn't gone to work ever.
You'll notice I'm wearing a fine new sweater. You'll find a link for that in the comments.
Was that made in Wuhan?
No, stop.
American,
first, but,
American made by union men who have coronavirus.
They because Wuhan's over it.
Yeah,
it's gone.
China's fine.
They're fine. They just
they took their punch and went on.
So, but yeah, if you want a fine looking sweater like this, it's available in how many different colors? Several. It's a. Thank you for the super accurate information for our viewers. It's available in pronouns, vague pronouns. That's very Xenogears. It's available in several, even though several's not
You
a pronoun.
can sing with all the colors of the mountain.
But what is most important is that you tune in again as we go into Disc 2, subtitled Faye Making Vegas Swing.